With the recent cold temperatures in the Mid-Ohio Valley, the risks for hypothermia and frostbite are a couple of things to be mindful of. According to Amy Phelps with the Mid-Ohio Valley Health Department, hypothermia is when a person has an unusually low body temperature below 95 degrees. Warning signs of hypothermia include shivering, exhaustion, slurred speech, confusion, and drowsiness. Phelps says frostbite can cause loss of feeling and color around the face, fingers, and toes. She says one of the actions you can take to prevent frostbite and hypothermia is to wear layers of clothing when going outside.
You want several layers of loose-fitting clothing, so that way you're keeping as warm as possible. Water-resistant coats and boots for like when you're outside working and shoveling like the snow. They actually want you to wear mittens more than gloves because they keep everything, the heat together and warmer. And of course, scarf, mask, anything to like cover your nose and mouth.
For more information on what you can do if you or someone else begins to show symptoms of hypothermia or frostbite, you can visit our online article at WTAP.com.